Let's continue with chapter number 7 from your history book of grade 6, and the name of the chapter is Jainism and Buddhism, and today we are going to start from Buddhism. So let's begin. Gautam Buddha's early life. Siddhartha, later known as Gautama Buddha, was born in Lumbini near Kapilavastu in 567 BCE. Siddhartha was a Kshatriya prince. All of you know hopefully what's the meaning of the word prince. King's son is called a prince. Surrounded by the luxuries and pleasures of royal life, he was married to a beautiful princess Yashodhara and had a son named Rahul. A happy family life and a luxuries of the palace failed to satisfy him. He was restless and detached. That means he was having a luxurious life in a palace, but he was restless. Why he was restless? Because he was in search of truth. He felt that the life he is leading is not satisfying him. Something is missing in his life. He was always in search of something. The four great sites proved to be the turning point in Siddhartha's life. It is believed that once while he was on an outing in his chariot, hopefully you know what is the meaning of chariot. Chariot means the you can say horse driven cart, right? Rath, we call in Hindi Rath, right? So 4 incidents are there, we will come to know. So first is when he was going outside in his chariot, he saw an old man, a sick man, a sick man, and a dead man. These 3 sights saddened, means he became sad and disturbed him greatly. Then he saw an saint who looked calm and serene. That means he saw a saint, he saw a sadhu who was very calm, unaffected by the sorrow and misery around him. He was not at all affected whatever was going on around that sadhu. So seeing this, Gautama Buddha became very astonished that when other people's, a old person is there, a sick person is there, a dead person is there around this sadhu, why he is so calm? How can he be so calm? How can he be so quiet? How can he be unaffected? Siddhartha decided to renounce all worldly ties. Worldly ties means all the family ties he's having. He thought of giving away and go out in search of answers to the miseries. Why people are suffering so much, he wanted to get the answer. Miseries of life and death. One night at the age of 29, while his son and wife were sleeping, he quietly slipped out of the house, breaking all worldly ties. He became a ascetic. So he left his wife and son, and one fine night he went out of his palace. For 6 years, Siddhartha wandered from place to place in search of truth. One day he sat down under a peepal tree in Bodh Gaya and began to meditate. On the 49th day, true light dawned on him. He became the Buddha, the enlightened one. He had at last found the causes of human suffering and knew how to outcome it. So he understood, after 49 days of meditation, he understood that what is the main problem of the human beings and how to come out of it. Enlightened means to know something, to get knowledge. Whenever we get knowledge, we become enlightened. We have the brains now working, having lots of ideas. Enlightened. From Gaya, there is Bodh Gaya, right? From Gaya, Buddha went to the deer park in Sarnath and preached the first sermon. That means he gave the first message. He started preaching for the first time. For the next 45 years, he moved from place to place, preaching the simple message. He died in Krishninagar at the age of 80. By this time, there were thousands of people who had embraced Buddhism. That means thousands of people converted to Buddhist, became Buddhist, converted to Buddhism. Teachings of Buddha. Buddha's religious philosophy is called Buddhism. This is called the middle path because it avoids the extreme hazardity of Jainism as well as extremes of ritualistic Hinduism. So, Gautam Buddha in his teaching tried to maintain a middle path. In this middle path, it was not, as you can say, religious or lots of rituals were there in Hinduism. Those were not included in Buddhism. Neither it was as Jainism, somewhere in between these two. The main principles of Buddhism are contained in the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. What are the Four Noble Truths? The world is full of suffering. The causes of suffering is human desires. Suffering can be ended by overcoming desires. Desires can be overcome and freedom from the cycle of birth, death and rebirth can be achieved by nirvana. The Eightfold Path leads to nirvana. So here they are saying that Gautam Buddha told that the world is full of sufferings. We will suffer more if we desire more, if we want more. I want this, I want that, I want so and so things. If I keep on desiring, keep on wanting more and more things, I will suffer more. The less my desire will be, the happier I will be. This is the main teaching. Okay? If you overcome, if you stop saying I need this, I need that, then we will be able to come out of the sufferings. Desires can be overcome. How to come out of these desires now? We have to read the Eightfold Paths for that. Right belief, right thought, right speech, right action, right means of livelihood, right effort, right memory, right meditation. These 8 things we need to follow in order to come out from our desires. Moreover, he told about ahimsa also. Ahimsa means non-violence. Buddha preached ahimsa or non-violence. He condemned animal sacrifice. He told no animal sacrifice is needed to praise God or to satisfy God. Karma. People's action will decide their destiny. Good deeds are rewarded and evil deeds are punished. Nirvana. The people's ultimate goal in life is to attain nirvana. Nirvana means to escape from the cycle of birth and death. This state of bliss can be achieved by following the Eightfold Path. That means at that time people used to believe that people today born will die, again they will rebirth, again they will die, again they will take a rebirth. So he is saying that to come out from it, we need to have the right knowledge, right memory, Eightfold Path we need to follow. Caste system. Buddha strongly condemned, that means rejected the caste system and preached that all people are equal. God. About God, what Gautam Buddha told, that Buddha was silent on the existence of God. He stressed moral values such as honesty, non-violence, obedience, and respect for elders, and kindness to all human beings. So for the existence of God, he is not saying anything. He is saying these are the main things you should follow. Humanity, right? Overall, humanity. Spread of Buddhism. Buddha preached in Pali. Pali is a language which was the easiest understood by the common people. The simplicity of his teaching and the principle of equality greatly appealed to the people, especially to the traders. Buddhism spread rapidly in India and other foreign countries such as China, Japan, Burma, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Tibet. He established monasteries and an order of monks called the Sangha. These monasteries became the center of education and learning. Buddhism also spread far and wide by the monks and nuns. Royal patrons also came into existence like King Ashoka. And establishment of Buddhism universities in Nalanda were the other important reasons of the rapid spread of Buddhism. Okay. Later on, Buddhism, like Jainism, was divided into two sections, Hinayana and Mahayana. The Hinayana Buddhists considered Buddha as the preacher. Okay, he was a messenger. The Hinayanas are believing that Gautam Buddha was a messenger. And the Mahayana Buddhists reverted to ritualism and worshipped Buddha as God. Okay, so Mahayanas are thinking that Gautam Buddha himself is the God. Buddhism inspired artistics and architects of achieve great heights of cultural excellence. At that time also we will find that Buddhist form of literature, religious literature and Jatakas and Tripikatas are also coming up. All these are the literature, okay, Buddhist literature. How did the decline of Buddhism happen? Hinduism was reformed and purified. The Gupta king patronized Hinduism. India was invaded by Huns who destroyed Buddhist viharans. This is how you can say that Buddhism started declining, or you can say Buddhism was nearly wiped away from India. But outside India, millions of people are following it, like in the Southeast Asia, Tibet, China, Japan. Millions are following now also. So let us study comparatively the difference between the Buddhism and the Jainism. Mahavira and Buddha both started their reform movement as a reaction of the evil practices that were prevailing in the society in the name of religion. The Upanishads were the source of their idea. Okay, what are the basic similarities first? The world is full of misery, karma, then moksha, or you can say freedom of birth and death. Both of them told. Rejection of Vedas, then they totally both have ignored the existence of God. They totally have opposed the, you can say, rituals, performance of the rituals, because those are very expensive at that time. The principle of equality was preached by both of them. Okay, they uplifted about the moral value, ethical value, ahimsa, moreover. Like then, and the Mauryan rulers also patronized both of this religion. And the common thing is both were preaching in the common language so that people could understand what are the differences. While Buddha was a founder of Buddhism, whereas Jainism, you can say, was not founded by Mahavira. He was the 24th teacher or the 24th preacher. Jainism followed the path of extreme, you can say, extreme ascetic, that is, you cannot even kill any insect, till that much. Okay, but Buddhism followed a middle path. Okay, not to get into any kind of problem, not to have too much of desire. Next, the Jains practice an extreme form of ahimsa, right? And Buddhist contained about non-violence, but not to that extent, not to that extreme ahimsa. Buddhism did not agree on the Jain view that inanimate objects like stone, wood, etc. have life, whereas Jains are saying that this non-living things like the materials, wood, stone, they are also having life. Hopefully you understood. Thank you.